like it's golden, golden, golden. Hi, everybody. Thanks for looking Treats TV with Chan. And I'm your host, Chan. Love and hip hop. Now, wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Here we go. You got your regular cast: Stevie J and Jocelyn, Nico and Margot, which is his wife that he now is bringing on. You got Young Jock and Katie, which is the realtor that Young Jock was dating. Erica and Scrappy, Kirk and Rasheeda, and let's put in a triangle for Ashley Nicole and Mama D and her beau, Ernest. So if you haven't watched the first two episodes, you didn't miss anything the first episode. They just reintroduced everybody back into, picking up from last season. And everybody's looking for Jocelyn. They want to know where she's at because she didn't make an appearance. And, that's everybody just preluding to her being in recovery or rehab or whatever this is that she's supposed to be doing, drugs and this and that. And you had, what's his name? Stevie J and Mimi forming up, making a business venture. They're supposed to be managing, a female or whatever it is. They dogging her, talking about her and all of this, whatever. When you grinding, and this is what I had a problem with watching a lot of things, you see a lot of, being facetious is a new thing where it's hot and it's cool. People been facetious forever. That's, that was people just taking digs. But it wasn't okay. It wasn't cute. When you took digs, it's because you really didn't care for somebody and you was a punk and didn't know how to let them know you didn't care for them. You always took a shot at them. So now it's cute, I guess, who could get the quickest one-liner, who could pull out your information the fastest, or, take a shot about how you living and all of that. And I'm watching Stevie J, and he keep talking about, her dancers was also her men working, the this and that, her stage hands. When you grinding, it is what it is. He grinded at some point, and I don't like when people forget when he probably slept at the studio, when you didn't have money all the time so what it feels like to have 2 and 3 jobs to be part of something to build it up. So that's what him and Mimi are doing. Then Mimi has a book deal. She left Nico. And Nico's still trying to break off her pockets. She signed a deal in love. I don't know how you was in love with this dude. But, she signed a deal in love. Now she don't want to give him nothing because she realizes, like everybody was tweeting and trying to tell her, a blind man could have saw he was a creep. Just the way his actions, his movements. If you watch a blog that I did 2 seasons back or a season back, whenever he got on, and I was like, I'm watching from sitting over there, and I could see that all of his face look a little shifty. Even if they're giving you 5 minutes, something about him comes across the screen. It's a little odd. It's a little shifty. I'm gonna tell y'all what I chalked all of these things up to later. Then Nico is no longer with Mimi. After he's trying to get part of her money, he, apologizes. He's trying to make things right with his wife, and in walks his wife, she's a beautiful female. I can't say nothing bad about looking at her. She knows what it feels like to really be messed up and grind and have to come from the bottom up and work hard and go through certain things to build a business, because everybody who has a business didn't just run in the money, put it in there, and it worked. You have to apply yourself sometimes. And apparently they have a marriage where, excuse my terminology, if you don't understand outside life, if you've been sheltered to certain things, not to say that I'm privy to it, but I deal with everybody from all walks of life. She appears to be what you would call, excuse my French, his bottom B. So listen, I'm going to go out here, I'm going to get this money however I got to go get it. But when it's just said and done, it's about me and you. And apparently he's proved that, because they had an open marriage. She, I might have to go holler at this dude to get these bills paid, but my heart belongs to you. So she went her way, he went his. He bumped into Mimi during their break. Within that year and a half or 2, whatever time frame it was, he got that money. However he had to get it, not to say that it was okay. He looked like he did a few shiesty things prior to hitting that TV. And he went and got his wife. It is what it is. Then you got Young Jock and Katie. Come to find out, Young Jock stayed with Katie. I guess they're going to premiere later on that she's pregnant. Whatever. He premieres this second episode that he has 8 children 4 different baby mothers and so forth and so forth. So we're going to skip over that. Then you got Erica and Scrappy. And Erica is trying to have Scrappy take care of his business as far as his daughter. And, yes, you put your time in, but your daughter needs a juice box. And what that means is young Scrappy may not have been given the child support that he needed to. You keep giving me a story, or I'm putting out all this money for the different things that your daughter needs coming up. I can't be outside because people are giving me items and I look fly and my child looks like crap. So I need you to do your part. I'm not bringing in no money either, but you brought money in for the last 2 episodes of Love and Hip Hop. So, we can see how this probably turns into a situation. We can probably see how these stories come with if you've ever been married or, a single mom, the conversations. I get it to you. I'm a double love. I'm going to do this, but I see my daughter every day. Thank you. As you should. That's what parents do. Period, point blank. Not mama, daddy, not parents see their children. They do what they got to do as much as they can. But financially, in the meantime, I got to buy shoelaces for your child's shoes. I have to make sure your child's hair is done. Even if I'm buying a comb, brush, and the products, if we split it down the middle, if her tab comes to $30 in a beauty supply, you need to give me 15 of it. And it might sound petty to some, and kudos to all those mothers out there that be like, I did it, I never went and got child support and whatever. That could be seen a lot of ways. Let's I feel sorry that you didn't. And some people understand it. I feel like, to each his own. If you didn't want to go get it, more power to you. I don't see why 2 people walked into this. And men always use I didn't really want the kid and all of that. Females don't believe that crap that these dudes be selling. It's the same story you're going to hear from the next 3. Don't listen to all of that. Because if he didn't want to be there, he wouldn't. And when they usually see their child's mother, they still hollering on the low, sending little innuendos, playing little games, as we see if you watch episode 2 with Young Jock and one of his children's mother. Young Scrappy's running her in circles. Whatever he did with his money, whatever went to back child support or with paying his bills, you can't, I don't want $100, but you can't break me off $100 a week. You didn't see $400 a month that you could, we're not going to do that. So it looks like they get prelude into Erica having a dilemma of filing a complaint for child support, because nobody wants to see the person that you at one time loved, much less tear the person from your child's life away. And what a lot of people don't understand is when you go file child support, or if you go apply for assistance, because my child needs a ham and cheese sandwich for her trips. And she needs a jacket in the winter. Kids' shoes are, let's say, minimum $35. I'm going to put my child in Payless because you want to look fly, or you want to do whatever you do, and I'm flying here and there and making appearances. You not getting no appearances from Love and Hip Hop that you can't get this girl this money? Let me get off Scrappy and Erica. Kirk and Rasheeda. I want to respectfully decline. I like Rasheeda. I like his choice in women. Kirk. Kirk Frost is a funny dude. Kirk Frost is a genuine outside guy. And that means as far as amongst men, honor amongst men, all of that stuff. What I'm having a problem with is I don't believe this storyline is fake, because this seems to be part of his character. And just because you have so many years with somebody, you don't lose who you are in those years. If you're a grinder, you want to try to grind. You still want to be this. You still want, her name is Boss Chick. But you are asking your mate for the money to get a storefront because you're in a marriage that he's not in. If you watch the episode, she asked Kirk on the first episode. So go back and, when I do these blogs, you're going to have to watch your stuff on YouTube, and then we're going to do reference work. She asked her husband for some of the money, or most of the money, for a storefront for her stuff, because she's grinding from her garage as businesses can be built and out of your home and all of that stuff. She's grinding from the bottom up, and she can't get it. But lo and behold, her husband goes and gets an apartment and pays $3,500 a month to say it's a business expense. First of all, I'm going to say this. Be careful, everybody out there. But let's move on. So I could have been paying that $35, maybe $4,000 every month to my storefront. And you can run off and do what you do, and I can run this business, and you can pull in all the acts you want to pull in. Here's another thing. That D-Lo music, we all have to reinvent ourselves. We all have to change certain things about ourselves, whether it be being called a different name, whether you have different personalities. Treatstvwithchan is not Chan outside of Treats TV. Totally different person. So D-Lo music needs to change up because D-Lo music has evolved, and that's an old early 2000 name is whack now. At this time, music has evolved on so many levels, it can't be D-Lo. You just, it's not, it doesn't fit, it don't ring no bells, it don't do nothing. So sometimes if you change a energy, you change a name, you change a space, everything, the dynamic changes with it. Kirk is still pulling the same stunts. And then he has in the first episode, he has a young artist. She goes up there, Rasheeda. I could see, I didn't like Rasheeda calling this young girl all out her name, but she probably is speaking from when she saw the show. I hope she's not speaking to prior really knowing who this girl is. She was calling her all of these chicks and this and that, and that's not cool. You can't keep knocking the next woman because your man is a creep. They only gonna do what we let them do. However, if you reined him in, all of that, if you watch the after party of Love and Hip Hop, they talking about what would your wife do? Yeah, she would shoot me and beat the other one up and all this, whatever. It ain't been done yet though. He has committed the most disrespect on national television, whether y'all agree to it or not. I don't want a dollar that bad that you're gonna drag me. So if y'all agreed to it, I hear you. That's his bottom B, y'all. But if you really didn't know all this stuff was going, the hot tub, the hollering at a girl in the bar, she a young shorty. He was about to have a young shorty in your house. He was about to honor Schwarzenegger. Well, he ain't have a shorty, but you know what I mean. The disrespect for a dollar, I hope that wasn't what it was. And if it was anything other, and you talking about this is 13 years, this is however many years, all you got is years, because the disrespect is your disrespect that happened in 2 years, you might as well have chalked that 13 years up to that. That was a disrespect for every year you've been with him. And then he gonna stunt and do it again. If he did all that disrespect blatantly, what you think he gonna do quietly? Yeah, he has a place that's $3,500. And no, he didn't get you your storefront. But I got you loving hip hop. I'm making moves. I'm doing something for you. And then y'all judge a stripper. She's shaking her ass for $1 on her terms, but you will let a man break you down on national television. Now, that couple is a beautiful couple. They look good together. That dark chocolate and that mocha is beautiful. Oh, it's this or latte. She's a latte. It's nice. Beautiful babies. You love to see people with longevity, but let's have longevity with some grace and class. I always said, I did another blog way back, and I said sometimes people want to just say they got years. It's called a marriage of convenience. Because if you have been married that long and somebody has disrespected you to that level, you no longer have your own identity. A boss does not have to ask anybody else for the money. I'm going to get it or I'm going to reinvest it however I got to reinvest it. And matter of fact, I don't even want the 50,000. It might be 50,000. I need 80 because I need to pocket 30 because I'm on my way out of here if you pull one more stunt. And all your infidelities are on camera. So Georgia might just be able to leave her with all the properties and let him keep that $3,500 a month apartment because that's where you'll be living. To each his own, all right? Ashley Nicole, the girl seems young. I like how if you watch episode 2, she was, yes, she got it. She learned it. She ain't even learning. She got it faster than some. She ain't doing all the robber wives, zingers to your face and this and that. She was very nice to Rasheeda trying to speak to her. We don't see a lot of parts, but I'm sure that girl, she was disrespectful with hugging on Kirk. I got a problem with that. And Kirk had me laughing when he was looking at her body like it was I'm going to touch this common denominator in a second. The things Kirk was doing, his faces and all, I know these type of men oh so well. He's hilarious. Um, the girl was trying to address Rasheeda as polite and nice as she possibly could. And then Rasheeda just kept on coming at this girl and calling her all out her name. I guess when you watch it in review, yeah, you was wrong for touching any married man. Stay away from them. I ain't got nothing to say to you. And everybody that's going through something ain't really going through nothing. So get out my face until you sign them divorce papers. But for you to be sitting up there calling this girl out her name, she's young. That man, if your husband, I'm not talking about Kirk Frost, I'm just saying men in general. Look at that girl age. It's called a predator. If you really feel threatened, that's a predator. Because look at his age and her age. Of course she blinded by the and she gonna do whatever she got to do to get where she gotta get. And she don't even probably want your husband. Because she's gonna get some offers. I'm sure you get yours. Every woman could get a man. Don't be nasty to these women and stay with these men. I don't I'm good on that part. You do you, I'ma do me. I'd rather look like this and have some self-respect than look like bad as these other chicks and can't hold their head up nowhere. Because you don't let men drag you for filth. What somebody say about you is different than what somebody actually does to you. I've been treated like a queen for as long as I can remember. Even the worst creep I ever had gave me everything he had. If it was his last dollar, he went out there to get it. It was nothing. No, you leave. I'm not leaving. And they leave. It is what it is. They only gonna do what you let them do. Some self-respect. But to treat this girl and the girl was just hitting it with zingers. Bing, bing. Oh no, yeah, I went to the Buckhead uh, office. Yeah, it's really nice. Oh yeah, and I've been signed for 5 deals. Uh-huh. Oh, I love it. 5 deals is a different type of money than we only signing her for a single. Hmm. You might have to embrace a female sometimes to understand what's really going on with your mate. And if we really women shut it down and stop being so nasty, you can make way better power moves than always trying to do the rah rah and zing a young girl. She ain't do nothing to you. She doing the same thing you probably used to do. I'm telling y'all. So Mama D and Ernest. Mama D had me laughing, sitting in this Tata bar with this. They got on their old hats and all of that. Yo, I always say to my kids, do me a favor. You know, mommy gaining a little weight. Pull my card, like, Ma, you know, do me a favor. Like, I don't want to be outside and you be the mom with the rollers and the house coat and your tatas with no bra on and all of that. I never wanted to be that. I don't want to, you know, I already changed enough that I'm not happy with that I don't want to embarrass. I never wanted to embarrass my kids. Pappy D is young. He need to really pull his mom and be like, my step pimp thing is kind of played out. Like, even Snoop evolved. He's still doing that whole pimp, blah, blah, blah. Everybody got to reevaluate and readjust their image. She's sitting there with the pimp hat on and the dude. And the only thing I like old school females that ain't nasty. Waka Flocka moms. I ain't met this lady. I don't do the celebrity idolizing thing. It's certain people though I could see. I like Jim Jones moms. I like Waka Flocka moms. And Scrappy Mother is just funny. She seems like if everything is okay, y'all could vibe. But I like that her bottom line is her son. I like one. See, people be having problems with mothers. Like I don't get along with his mother. She be acting whatever. All the moms that take digs in this and that, her son is supposed to check that. I like Mama D, but Scrappy talk to your mom. She got to change up her style a little bit. So you know that was just the recap for the past 2 episodes of Love and Hip Hop. Go watch it. It's gonna be funny. I hope everybody's taking some notes and what not to do in life. If that's the lesson that they're trying to give, I'm trying to reach out to the young girls and show them, you know, if they can learn from my experiences. Everybody gives the same speech. You could write it. I could get that in my sleep. You know, I'm trying to show them, you know, a better way. And if they can learn from my experiences, everybody got the same speech. So, you know, if that's what you could take from Love and Hip Hop, besides all the rah rah, Stevie J is going off to rehab. That's a beautiful thing. Uh, Jocelyn probably did a stint. That's a beautiful thing. You know, take the positives out of the foolishness. So on to that was your Love and Hip Hop. You asked for it, I gave it to you. Oh, I'm sorry. Here's what I was going to tell you about. And a commenting. The common denominator I saw with all of the shenanigans, or buffoonery with some of these Atlanta shows. Look at the males. Look at the females that's going through it. But look at the males and where they're from. Atlanta Housewives, Peter's from New York. Todd's from New York. I don't know where Greg is from. Nene looks happy. Let me mind my business. Love and Hip Hop. Kirk's from New York. Nico's from New York. Stevie J. I'm forgetting another show that somebody else is from New York. Get Money Men. Grinders, Hook or Crook. Clean it up or whatever they do. They all get bad because Atlanta got some, Georgia, the South got some females for you. North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. It's some bodies. It's different. But I don't know what happens after you get out of Boston and start going down. It's some things down there. And that's what they they chose to wife up. They always go down south and you get a wife. But look at watch these episodes and look at the only common denominator for these men. I don't think Todd's a shyster. I think Todd still moves how the Bronx moves. Queens does what Queens, if you don't know those locations, then you can't see what I see. I see the common denominator. I see how the men, you're going to respect me as a man, how they hold their own in a whole nother state. But they all have the same small habits. All of those men have the stories or getting caught womanizing. They all hustle and get that money. But their weakness is always, and that's any man. We could say that. Watch these New York men though. Ain't nothing like a New York man. Southern men, I think, a little debonair sometimes. But a New York man, mine is always on his money. Keeping a shorty on his arm. Your wife has to be bad, and your side is usually supposed to be badder. You're just not supposed to get caught. If she ain't badder than your wife, you ain't supposed to slip up. That's always the rule. And they do it for fun. They don't do this for play. When men have their private talks, I know y'all gonna be mad at me. It's what female you could put up against the next female. That's your shorty. I seen him riding through in a nice hot ride the other day with a bad shorty on his arm. That's been the talk since the late 80s. And it looks like Atlanta relocated men are still doing some of those same 80s, 90s, and early 2000 things. That's the common denominator I saw. In other news, in political news, Miss Loretta Lynch was finally sworn in. And I say finally because you didn't do a background check for 5 months. You quizzed this lady for 5 months. Y'all can't see what's being, I don't know what, if y'all, it's like everybody's blind. Like, well, this is what they said. No, they have to ask her all these questions. This is how it's, who else? Who else went through this? Who else? And we can't say it's race. You're always pulling out the race card. Please name someone else who went through that lengthy review and public interview, because that's all it is. You can ask me the same question 50 million times if you want to, different ways. The basis of my answer is always the same. And if you really want to get down to the nitty gritty, y'all could have polygraphed that lady and been done with it. That was playing games. And America allows, I guess you can't do anything because the president ain't, he can't touch everything. So I guess you feel like if the president can't change it, other voices are better than one sometimes. He's one voice. America is millions of voices, and y'all keep letting people do stuff to y'all. That lady should have never had to go through that public humiliation. But we'll keep watching Love and Hip Hop, people. BruceJenner last Friday announced that he is changing his life. And I have nothing to say about that. One, because it ain't my business. So I wasn't going to touch it. I tweeted on it the one time. And to that, I said, to each his own. I think that sums up everything. That's not my business. Excuse me. I apologize. That's not my business. To each his own. That's what he chose. That's how he feels. Knock yourself out. Let's go buy bras together. I don't care. I know it's probably devastating from the family aspect and so forth and so forth. There's a higher being. Everybody believes in God. Some people, thinks they're aliens. There's planets and all of this. You're telling me there's no other life out here? How are you going to be ready for that other life? And you can't accept the people right here changing right before your very eyes. He's doing what makes him happy. I like the Afghan thing that they swore he had on in front of his house. If you're not on the Shade Room, you probably don't. I get my celebrity info from Shade Room. Can he tell me where he got that from? Because I swear I wouldn't. It's probably hard on the children, but at least he waited till they were old enough. He was, he was always a dad. He was considerate. Rock out, which finish it. And the Baltimore Riots. That's sad news. It's hard to watch. People always get upset when there's a riot. Everybody loses. Um, I was hurting. I'm a little sensitive to people's pain. I was very hurt for Baltimore has always been broke. Let's cut to the chase. Baltimore has always been a broke, messed up city. It's been a long time. And most times that places riot, they have the hardest time rebuilding. Like Newark was one of them. Chicago has been one. Different places, when they have riots, they have a hard time building back up. And if you look, it takes decades usually to get back to where it probably originally was at. But when you look at the time frame that it happened originally, it was probably an oppressive time for minorities. Baltimore has been, give me a job that you can get in Baltimore besides like Home Depot, the regular McDonald's, and where are the big companies? There's no customer service, debt collectors, jobs that people can say I have. How many hospitals that you can stay in a job for 15 to 20, 30 years and retire and say that this is, where is the economy upbuild that you expect that people are not being suppressed? And then on top of that, you have not so nice officers sometimes that is constant. It's constant. It's how many times I'm gonna keep asking you, stop hitting me, stop hitting me, stop hitting me, please stop. And you expect there's no reaction? The Wire was based on Baltimore. That means that we have written through Baltimore other times, and you could still see where the houses was boarded up and not being used. And I used to be like, how these get money people, these get money dudes, all these organizations that's I'm doing this and that aren't pulling their money in and buying up property. If you played Monopoly, the first thing you learned was location, location, location. And nobody was making money in Baltimore. Nobody was bringing in, you go buy up the place, you get a dude that's trying to have a construction company, gut it out, build it up, go to the shelters, to the government, put some people in it, get that government stipend for these people to be living in here. Nobody's teaching these people how to get money. Nobody wanted to do nothing for Baltimore. They've been messed up forever. I am happy to see that that lady went out there on national. She didn't even know she was on national television and smacked her son. Do you know they will kill you out here? The only reason it ain't going down is because the cameras are flashing. They will kill you. I was so happy to see that. America looks like they're happy to see that. But watch it, because in a few weeks they'll turn around and tell us, stop putting your hands on your children. See, we correct ours, how we know how to correct them. If you don't get in that house and stop playing with me, are you crazy? Tom, you can't do that. And Tom, it's not how you demonstrate. Now, we don't have those conversations. I want my son to live. You will lose your life. These people don't care nothing about you. He's doing his job. And by however he gotta make sure he get home to his wife, he's going to do it. And that's what you have to tell our children. That is the bottom line to that whole conversation. I'm so glad she smacked him in his head. He covered his face up. Covered his face up. Because he want everybody to know his mom was two-piecing him. That was too funny. It's hard to watch Baltimore going through that. And the only thing I could do is try to find a positive. Anytime you burn something down, the rebuild is more beautiful. Out of the ashes, the neighborhood is cleaning it up. The young people are coming in and cleaning it up. They didn't want to be seen that way. It brought people together who you just said were nothing. But the bottom line to this, people, is how did Freddie Gray's spine get severed from his skull from wherever it was at. 80% of his spine was severed. You don't want to see that. The sister said her brother wouldn't have liked it. We're not all confrontational. I don't know why they think every black woman who has a voice or every young man who has a stern look on his face is confrontational. And that man, when they showed his pictures, didn't look nothing confrontational about him. But that's how we're perceived. That's we're aggressive and we're confrontational. No, we're asking you to stop. Can you not treat me like that, please? Just because some other cultures prefer to be doormats. Anytime you ask somebody to stop doing something or tell them no to something, you're going to be the problem because you're explaining to them that they have a defect. Oh, no, it's not me, it's you. That's usually the rationale. So, it's hard to watch. The kids are hurting. Everybody's frustrated, but they're getting ready to rebuild. They're cleaning up. And that's usually how things happen. You have to burn it down to put in new buildings. People, thanks for clicking Treats TV. See you next week.